Hi folks, 9-Toe Nelson here, out on my first ride of the new season after the salt, and today is a gorgeous day. It was a kind of chilly morning in the 30s, mid to low, but now it's almost 70 degrees and that's fantastic. So I am heading home after taking care of an errand for my son, and I'm hoping this is going to be a fun, easy glide home. It's been a bit since I've put out a video. I know, I'm sorry for that. I've been well, without going into fine details, been dealing with a lot, but things are getting a little easier with respect to the load on my shoulders, and therefore I have time to be doing this. Also, the weather was kind of crappy with respect to the snow and the salt, but just the same, I like making these videos, and I was getting upset that I wasn't able to. So I had a great way to start the season. I discovered that I should actually say all of my bikes, I was about to say 2 of my 3 have an issue, which is slightly debilitating, if not completely. So I'm going to be spending some time in the garage this first part of the season, and what I'll be working on first is replacing some fork seals that I discovered are leaking on this machine here, the YZF, or as I have named it, Austin. There's a story for that. The ST currently has an issue with, I believe, the alternator, which was expected. It's a notorious issue with that year of that model, when the alternators were known to fail just due to general weakness in the design. And I have a second-hand alternator for it. The problem is it has the same inherent weakness, and there's a way to upgrade the alternator to get around that issue, but finding those 40 amp alternators that are OEM, which I would prefer, is finding a unicorn holding a needle in a haystack. So I may just go straight with what I have to start, and if need be, if I come across that 40 amp alternator somewhere, I will scoop it up. And then the other bike, the 96 YZF600R, I think I have a cylinder that's not firing, and I haven't had the time or space to check. My garage is very full right now. Still haven't gotten rid of those 2 scooters of my daughter, and when that happens I'll be able to spread things out a bit. The fact that my son has his bike in there now makes it that much tighter. But I've been pretty good at playing Tetris in the garage. I've made them all fit. That's been good, but not perfection. So yeah, I guess that could be my topic for the day. Parts. Getting motorcycle parts, getting the right ones at the right time in the least expensive way. And for me, that usually entails a fair amount of sleuthing on the internet, checking well-known suppliers such as RevZilla, Partzilla, and so on, Dennis Kirk, whatever you can think of. And those places are great for, at the very least, reference. I mean, if you want to make sure you're getting the right part for your bike, you go in there, do the drop-down boxes for the year, make, and model, and you'll be able to find the diagram for your bike, or any bike, and all the part numbers. And they'll tell you if they have them available in stock. The older bikes, you find yourself looking hard elsewhere because they usually won't have them in those other locations. But they are available out there, and in some cases you would think the price would be higher because they're becoming harder to find. Not necessarily. Some of the well, I would say the best place probably on average that I have found for good prices on new stock items is eBay. I've been looking for the fork seals for this bike. I could have gotten them from Partzilla, and in total, without tax and shipping, would have been upwards of $55. It's a couple of seals and a dust cover. And shipping alone would have been about a quarter of the price. Then throw taxes in, you know, not a comfortable price when you know you can find it somewhere else for cheaper. I ended up getting them for 20 bucks total, no shipping, brand new, in the box items. You can't beat that. You're saving 30 to 40 bucks. And they're going to arrive within a week, whereas if I had ordered them from the other sites, I'd be lucky to get them in 2. I don't know how they get away with it, but hey, ding. So, getting this repaired, I'll have it done within a week. The ST is another story. But like I said, there are sites out there. I did find one. I'm not going to say which because I know that there are other people out there looking for parts for Honda ST1100s. Sorry guys, I got to keep that stuff to myself if I want to get those things and utilize them. But that site, I was surprised to find that they actually have a fair amount of new parts in stock for not just the ST but the 96. I think I mentioned it before. I accidentally broke part of the fairing on the 96, and I found a brand new in the bag OEM part to replace it, and I was amazed. I never thought that I would locate that. For the ST, I found another part brand new in the bag in stock with them, and I am confident that these are the last of their kind. I've never been able to find them anywhere else online, so fingers crossed I can find the alternator. The other thing about searching online is you will also find private sellers on apps like not just eBay but other person to person like OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace. Those can be sketchy sometimes though. Facebook Marketplace in particular, I have a high level of distrust. I've heard too many horror stories, seen too many scam stories online. And OfferUp, I've heard of some similar issues, but not as many. I've used it quite a number of times to both buy and sell. And yeah, that's your online garage sale. That's what eBay used to be. But going to some mom and pop websites as well, you know, the individual reseller or retail shop for not just motorcycle parts, but I have found motorcycle parts at marine shops. wow, the number of times I have searched for some Yamaha parts and realized, wow, these individual parts, these grommets, these screws, whatever, are shared with a lot of their marine items. And knowing that, I've learned not to pass up those websites like I may have in the past. So there's another little tidbit for you that could prove to be worthwhile. And again, even some sites that have nothing to do with motorsports, I have actually found some, I guess, resellers that have purchased lots of items and ended up reselling them, and hey, at a discount, so worth looking into. And you know, all of that holds true not just for the hard to find items that you need. Tires we all need, we all go through, and they are expensive, and depending on how you use them, they don't last very long. I find that I'm going through a set every couple of seasons, and knowing where to get them is a good thing. And again, I find eBay often offers the best deals. You know, I guess this has become an eBay ad because I've been realizing that I use them for almost everything. But worth shopping around, even after you find something there. You can find some things cheaper. So yeah, I've got a number of parts for all three bikes that I'm going to need to start collecting. And as I was saying that to myself this morning, I was also realizing I kind of have to work some overtime, because even though I am finding them on the cheap, all totaled, it's going to cost me a fair amount. Doing the work myself is going to save me a fair amount. So you give and you get, right? I wonder how this camera's doing right now, because it is shaking like a maraca. And I'm kind of putting it through its paces. It's a new one, new to me. GoPro9 that, again, I found on the cheap. And I'm glad I was able to, because I've got some plans for it later this season. Not because it is a 9, but because I was going to need an extra camera or two. So I'm glad I was able to come across those. I've got the 9, and I also picked up a 10, which I know are outdated, but they do the job, and in my opinion they do it well. I did consider some other options, some other manufacturers. Right now I'm kind of stuck in GoPro. I've been using them for a long time. I'm very familiar with them and comfortable with them. So until I become a little more wealthy or prices drop, which thanks to some recent changes in government policies, that's not likely to happen soon. Until that happens, I'm fine with getting some secondhand stuff that works flawlessly as they can. This guy in this Charger is really enjoying himself. Hope these kids aren't stupid. I got a feeling they're going to be. Yep, there they go. Ride safe, ride smart, have fun, guys. In that order. I had a feeling that was going to happen. That Charger was having a little too much fun. thought he was trying to get me involved. I didn't realize these two guys were behind me. I'm pretty sure those two guys just pooped a little. Oh well, I lost my train of thought. So to make this video a little shorter than usual, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for joining me today. I hope I dropped a little nugget of knowledge for you that was worthwhile. I got a ding there. And if that's the case that I did, please come back for more. I'm sure there'll be something that I can refer to and relate to you that you will find useful somewhere down the line. And if that turns out to be the case, you might as well subscribe, because you won't want to miss anything else that comes down the pike. And if you hit that bell icon, you'll get a notification for when my videos do come out. And if you enjoyed the video that you're watching right now, hit the like button. All of that helps me out. I would appreciate it greatly. I want this channel to grow, and I want to be able to do more with it. And if it does, I'll be here to make more. Alright guys, take care. And as I do always say, please do remember to ride safe, ride smart, and have fun. Bye.